Hello and welcome to A Russell Reads. Today we have Underwater by Helen Vivian Fletcher. Bailey has a lot of secrets and a lot of scars, both of which she'd like to keep hidden. Unfortunately, Pine Hills Resort isn't the kind of place where anyone can keep anything hidden for long. When Bailey arrives, she just wants to get through the summer quietly, spending as much time in the water as she can. Then she meets Adam. Bailey's not looking to make friends, but Adam isn't easy to ignore. Neither is his ex-girlfriend, Claire. As Bailey grows closer to Adam, she draws Claire's animosity. Will Bailey be able to keep her past a secret? Or will Claire discover and reveal the sinister truth about how Bailey really got her scars? Underwater is the second young adult novel from the author of Broken Silence. If you like raw emotions, dark secrets, and heartbreaking love triangles, then you'll love Helen's engaging new young adult novel. Pick up Underwater today to learn Bailey's secret. Excerpt from Chapter 1. Mom said I wasn't taught to swim. I was just born knowing. Tilly, on the other hand, never learnt, no matter how often we tried to teach her. She figured out how not to drown, though, and that seemed to be enough. I don't think I've ever sat beside a body of water and not wanted to be a part of it. Not wanted to dive beneath the surface and feel the water encase me like a fluid hug. But that was before. Now I knew that no matter how long I sat beside the pool at Pine Hills Resort, I wouldn't get in. The first thing I'd wanted to do, once I dumped my bags in my room and delivered Tilly to the kids' play area, was dive into the pool. But when I saw the number of people there, I chickened out. Instead, I sat on the side, dangling my legs in the water and wishing they would all go away. I swished my feet back and forth, making ripples across the surface. My skin tingled with the urge to dive in and swim, stroke after stroke, until my arms would ache and my lungs would burn, stroke after stroke, until there would be no more thoughts, just ache and burn, ache and burn. I rubbed sunscreen into my arms as I felt the sun sting at my skin. In a minute, I'd get up and go find some shade. In a minute, but not just yet. A couple of kids jumped in at the other end, sending water splashing at my legs. The tail of my sarong was wet, but instead of taking it off, I pulled it up higher. Again, I cursed the fact that the only swimsuit I owned now was a bikini. I missed the familiar gray one piece from my swim team uniform. Taking it off for the last time had been like removing a layer of skin. Gran told me I looked fine, said all the things grandmas are supposed to say. I knew she just wanted me to get me out the door. Not in a bad way, of course. She was doing a great job. She just didn't expect to be raising 2 kids in her retirement. When we arrived here, the guy checking us in gave us the option of a family unit, or of me going in with the other teens and Tilly with the other kids. Gran said it was up to me. The thought of being separated from her and Tilly made my stomach churn, but I could tell 2 weeks in the same cabin as Tilly and me wouldn't be much of a holiday for Gran. So I told her it would be great for us to spend some time with kids our own age. So far, I'd done everything I could to avoid talking to anyone my age, but Gran didn't need to know that. A flash of red from the other side of the pool kept catching my eye. Red board shorts reflecting on the surface of the pool. I couldn't help seeing it as blood, though, swirling and mixing with water until everything was pink-tinged. I looked up to force the thought from my mind. He was sitting on the other side of the pool, directly opposite me, the owner of the red board shorts. His eyes were closed, and he dangled his feet in the water. It was strange. Everything seemed so fast here, so frenetic, but he was really still. I watched him, feeling some of the calm rub off on me. He opened his eyes and frowned at me. I dropped my gaze, embarrassed I'd been caught staring. He was staring back, though, I could tell. I fiddled with the edge of my sarong, then forced myself to look up. He met my eye. His frown deepened for a moment, then he smiled. One of those big, warm, goofy smiles that makes you want to smile back. I didn't, though. I looked down at the water and combed my fingers through my hair instead. He was still looking at me, I could tell. I hated the feeling of being watched, but I didn't want to meet his eye again. You're new here, aren't you? I jumped at the voice. The girl was right behind me. She laughed. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. She smiled. I'm Claire. Bailey. I raised my hand to shade my eyes. The sun was right behind Claire, giving her a red and gold aura. The fact that her hair was incredibly blonde and shiny wasn't helping. I couldn't even tell what her face looked like. A flash of silver from her middle told me she had a belly button piercing. I'd been desperate to get mine done a few years ago, but Mom wouldn't let me. She told me I'd look back and regret it if I did. I think she was right. My ears weren't even pierced anymore. I'd let the holes grow over. The idea of metal impaling my skin just made me cringe. So, when did you get here? Just this morning. Her gaze drifted away from me. I didn't look, but I had the feeling she was watching the guy across the pool. Her eyes narrowed, then she turned back to me. She smiled. Anyone shown you around yet? I shook my head. That wasn't strictly true. The staff had shown us the basics when we checked in, but it was obvious Claire was trying to be nice and I didn't want to shut her down. She reached out her hand to help me up. Come on, I'll give you the tour. I felt awkward at taking her hand, but Gran kept telling me I needed to make more of an effort, so I smiled and let her help me up. The tail of my sarong caught on my foot and slipped from my waist as I stood. Claire gasped. Geez, how'd you get that scar? It's nothing. I grabbed the sarong, bundling it around my middle. Nothing, I said again. I stuttered over the word, unable to get it out. My cheeks went hot and I stared at the ground. Claire wrinkled her nose. I had mine out and it doesn't look like that. Yeah, well, I found I didn't have an answer for that. The air stretched between us for a moment, then Claire gave a false laugh. Remind me never to go to your surgeon. I joined her in the forced laugh. She gestured with her head. Shall we go? She chattered as we walked. Apparently, she was from one group of families who spent every summer at the resort. I couldn't imagine it. Growing up with friends you saw only once a year at the most. I knew myself well enough to see it would be too tempting to lie about the rest of your life. I'd been here half a day, and I was doing it already. That has been our excerpt from Underwater. Make sure you come back to MeganO'Russell.com to check out our future O. Russell Reads posts, and thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.